What if I told you that the greatest thief in your life isn't failure, heartbreak, or even rejection, it's wasted time? Think about it. You can recover from losing money. You can heal from losing love. But you will never, not for a single second, get back the time you've let slip away. And that's the one currency you can't earn back. Every day, I meet people who feel stuck, men who just went through a breakup and can't move on, guys who keep failing at their goals, people who wake up wondering, why does my life look the same as it did last year? The truth is simple but brutal. It's not because you don't have talent, potential, or heart. It's because you don't own your time. Time is life. If you waste time, you waste life. I often remind people. Yet most of us trade away our days to distractions that will never matter in the long run. We scroll, we chase, we hustle without direction. And then we wonder why life feels empty. I want you to picture this. Imagine you're 70 years old, sitting in a quiet room, replaying your life. You don't remember the nights you spent scrolling through someone else's highlight reel. You don't remember the hours you gave to jobs you didn't even love. What you remember are the moments you were present, the times you laughed so hard you couldn't breathe, the days you dared to chase a dream, the love you gave and received. Now ask yourself, are you building those memories right now? Or are you building regrets? We tell ourselves we're managing time, but the truth is, time is managing us. Every notification, every urgent message, every meaningless habit is shaping your destiny. And if you don't reclaim it, your life will be written by everything and everyone but you. I've seen two kinds of people in this world. One wakes up every day running, rushing from one task to the next, always busy, never fulfilled. They collapse at night, drained but dissatisfied. The other wakes up with clarity. They set an intention. They give their best energy to what matters most, whether it's building their vision, healing their heart, or being fully present with the people they love. At night, they're tired too, but it's the exhaustion of living fully, not the emptiness of wasting another day. Which one are you becoming? When I lived as a monk, I learned something powerful. The most fulfilled people aren't the ones who do the most. They're the ones who choose the most meaningful. They don't chase noise. They don't surrender to distraction. They master the art of attention. And in mastering that, they master their lives. Right now, you might feel like you're running out of time. But here's the truth. You're not running out of time. You're running out of focus. You don't need more hours in a day. You need to take back the hours you're already losing. Don't let your schedule dictate your purpose. Let your purpose dictate your schedule. When you live that way, every minute becomes a step toward freedom instead of a step into regret. So let me ask you again. Are you living or just existing? Because the cost of wasted time is not measured in hours. It's measured in the dreams you never chase, the love you never give, the life you never live. But here's the part that gives me hope, and it should give you hope too. It doesn't have to stay this way. You can choose, right now, to reclaim your minutes, your focus, your direction. You can decide that from this day forward, your time will no longer be stolen by distractions, by regrets, by things that don't deserve your energy. And if you choose that, everything changes. Because once you understand the cost of wasted time, you stop wasting it. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop believing you'll start when life slows down. And you start creating a life you don't need to escape from. Let me leave you with this. You can't control how many years you'll live, but you can control how much life you put into each year. That is the real definition of freedom. And when you grasp that truth, you'll never see a single minute the same way again. But this is only the beginning, because knowing you're wasting time isn't enough. To truly change, you need to unlearn the myths you've been told about success and productivity. And once I reveal those myths, you'll understand why most people stay trapped in business, while only a few break free. And that's where we go next. We grow up believing lies about time. We're told that if we stay busy, we're productive. We're told that if we do more, we'll be successful. We're told that one day, when life finally slows down, we'll finally have the time to do what really matters. But let me tell you something that may shock you. All of those beliefs are myths. And if you don't break free from them, they will keep you trapped for the rest of your life. Business is not productivity. Activity is not progress, I often say. Yet most of us confuse movement with meaning. We mistake motion for momentum. And because of that, we end up running faster in circles, instead of walking steadily toward our destiny. Let's break down the first myth. Being busy means being productive. You see it all the time. People fill their calendars, stack their days, brag about how little they sleep, as if exhaustion is a badge of honor. But here's the truth. Business is often just distraction in disguise. You can be busy all day and achieve absolutely nothing of value. You can be moving nonstop and still be standing in the same place in life. The second myth is even more dangerous. Time management is about doing more. Society loves to sell us this illusion. We buy planners, apps, productivity hacks, all promising that if we just squeeze more tasks into our day, we'll finally win. But here's the reality. If you fill your life with meaningless tasks, managing them better won't save you. Doing more of what doesn't matter will never make your life matter. And then comes the third myth. You'll find time when life slows down. How many times have you told yourself, when things calm down, I'll finally focus on my health. I'll finally pursue that dream. I'll finally heal from that heartbreak. But life doesn't slow down. There's always another deadline, another crisis, another distraction waiting for you. Waiting for, someday, is the fastest way to waste your life, because someday never comes. So if these myths are lies, then what's the truth? The truth is that productivity has nothing to do with business. It has everything to do with purpose. Productivity is not about managing time, it's about mastering priorities. It's not about cramming more into your day, it's about cutting out what doesn't belong in your day at all. When I was living as a monk, I thought I was stepping into a life of stillness. But what I found was deeper than that. The monks weren't busy, yet they weren't idle. They were purposeful. Every task had meaning. Every moment was aligned with their values. That's when I realized freedom isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things. Think about your own life. How much of your time is spent reacting, responding to notifications, saying yes to things you don't want to do, running on autopilot? And how much of your time is spent intentionally, invested in what truly fuels you, grows you, and connects you to the people you love? That ratio determines your freedom. That's the line between living in chaos and living in clarity. And let me be honest, it's not an easy line to cross. Because the world celebrates the myths. We reward people for being busy, even when they're miserable. We glorify overwork, even when it destroys health and relationships. We honor the hustle, even when it leaves us hollow. But tell me this, what's the point of climbing a ladder if it's leaning against the wrong wall? I once met a man who told me, "Jay, I've been working 14-hour days for the last 20 years. He said it with pride. But when I asked him, "Do you feel fulfilled?" he went silent. His eyes dropped. That silence said more than his words ever could. You can win at business and still lose at life. That's why I want you to pause and ask yourself, are you filling your schedule or are you filling your soul? Because the two are not the same. A packed calendar can still hide an empty heart, and a free calendar can still hold a rich, meaningful life, if what fills it is aligned with your purpose. Freedom doesn't come from having more time. It comes from using the time you have on what matters most. That's the truth I've learned. And when you live by it, your entire life shifts. Instead of racing the clock, you align with it. Instead of being drained by every day, you're fueled by it. But here's where it gets interesting. Once you see through the myths, you begin to notice the patterns in your own life, the habits, the distractions, the cycles that keep stealing your time. And once you notice them, you can start to break them. But breaking them requires more than awareness. It requires a new framework, a practical and powerful way to master your time instead of letting it master you. And that's what we're about to dive into next. Because now that you know the myths, it's time to discover the method. And when I reveal this framework, you'll understand why some people seem to create freedom in every day of their lives, while others stay stuck in the prison of business. And the question is, when I share it, will you be ready to finally step out of that prison? If you've made it this far, it means deep down you're tired of being busy without progress. You're tired of filling days but emptying your soul. And that's where a new way begins. Because time mastery isn't about squeezing more hours into your day. It's about transforming the hours you already have into freedom. And to do that, I want to share with you the framework that has reshaped not only my life, but the lives of thousands I've spoken to around the world. It begins with awareness. I call it the awareness audit. Imagine keeping a journal of your time, not just your meetings and appointments, but the hidden hours, the 20 minutes you lose scrolling before bed, the hour you spend replaying a breakup in your mind, the countless fragments wasted comparing yourself to others. At first, it feels uncomfortable. You'll see just how much of your life you've been giving away. But that discomfort is the first spark of change, because awareness is the gateway to freedom. When you finally see the leaks, you can start plugging them. When you see the thieves of your time, you can stop opening the door. Don't measure your life by the hours you put in. Measure it by the moments you put meaning into. I often remind myself, and that meaning begins when you take ownership of every minute you spend. The second step is to realize that not all time is equal. This is where most people fail. They think an hour is just an hour. But the truth is, 1 hour of tired, distracted work is not the same as 1 hour of energized, focused effort. That's why I say, protect your energy, and your energy will protect your time. You need to learn your peaks. Maybe you're sharpest in the morning, maybe in the evening. Once you know this, you stop forcing yourself to fight uphill battles in your weakest hours. Instead, you align your most important work with your highest energy. You stop surviving your day and start thriving in it. The third step is what I call monk mode. When I was living as a monk, we had sacred hours every single day, time that was untouchable, undisturbed, and deeply intentional. No matter what was happening outside, those hours were protected. And I believe every one of us needs that. Whether it's 1 hour in the morning to meditate, journal, and plan, or an hour in the evening to disconnect and reflect, monk mode is where you build the foundation of your freedom. Because if you don't anchor yourself daily, the world will keep pulling you in 1,000 directions. I remember someone once telling me, "Jay, I don't have time for monk mode." And I said, "If you don't have 1 hour for yourself, you don't own your life owns you." That's the truth. You can't master your time if you don't master your mind. And monk mode is how you begin. Finally, the fourth step is the freedom filter. This is where mastery turns into liberation. It's the ability to say no, not out of fear, but out of clarity. Every request, every opportunity, every distraction passes through this filter. Does this align with my purpose? Does this bring me closer to the life I want, or further away? If the answer is no, then your answer should be no. And I know saying no feels hard. We fear disappointing people, missing out, or losing opportunities. But here's the paradox: every time you say yes to something that doesn't matter, you're saying no to the life that does. The freedom filter forces you to choose, and in choosing, you reclaim your power. Think of it like this: your time is a garden. Every yes is a seed. If you keep saying yes to everything, your garden becomes overgrown with weeds. But if you're intentional, if you plant only what aligns with your vision, then your garden flourishes with beauty, clarity, and life. So here it is: awareness audit, energy over hours, monk mode, freedom filter. This is the framework, simple but not easy, powerful but only if you commit. But let me warn you, the moment you begin, resistance will rise. Distractions will pull harder. People will question your choices. You'll feel the temptation to slip back into business because business feels comfortable. It feels safe. But remember, comfort zones are prisons. And you're not here to live in a prison. You're here to live free. When you apply this framework, something remarkable happens. Suddenly, your days don't feel like they're slipping through your fingers anymore. Suddenly, you wake up with clarity, not chaos. You stop measuring time by the clock and start measuring it by progress, by growth, by love, by presence. Mastering time isn't about control, it's about choice. And the choices you make today shape the freedom you feel tomorrow. Now, here's the part most people miss. Even if you follow every step, even if you audit your time, align your energy, practice monk mode, and filter your choices, there's still one thing that separates those who truly live free from those who just dream about it. It's the shift from mastering your schedule to mastering your mindset. And until you embrace that shift, you'll always risk falling back into the same cycles, the same distractions, the same regrets. Because time mastery doesn't end with habits. It ends with transformation. And that's exactly what we're about to uncover next. Imagine waking up tomorrow with no rush, no chaos, no frantic scrolling through your phone to catch up on what you missed overnight. Instead, you open your eyes to clarity. You know exactly what matters today. You feel a sense of calm, of control, of freedom. That's not a fantasy, it's the life that opens up when you master your time. But here's the truth most people overlook: see, true time mastery isn't about clocks, calendars, or schedules. It's about your mindset. You see, a person with the wrong mindset can have the perfect system and still feel trapped. But a person with the right mindset can take even the most ordinary day and turn it into a masterpiece of meaning. That's the difference between existing and living. And the mindset shift begins here. Time is not something you spend, it's something you invest. Think about that word invest. When you invest money, you want it to grow. You want it to build a future. Time works the same way. Every moment you give to growth, to love, to purpose, multiplies. But every moment you give to regret, distraction, or bitterness robs you of the future you deserve. Don't count the hours of your life. Make every hour count for your life. This is what I've come to realize. Your freedom isn't waiting in more hours, it's waiting in deeper hours. The depth of a single present, purposeful hour can outweigh an entire week of empty business. I've met men who told me, "Jay, I feel like I've wasted years chasing the wrong things." They were heartbroken, broke, or stuck in cycles of failure. And I told them, the moment you decide to stop wasting time, every second from now becomes redemption. Your past doesn't define you. Your wasted time doesn't define you. What defines you is the courage to claim this moment and say, from today, I live free. So what does the freedom mindset look like? It's presence over pressure. It's choosing meaning over noise. It's realizing that you don't need to be everywhere, for everyone, doing everything. You only need to be where your purpose calls you. Freedom is when your time aligns with your values, when your days reflect who you truly are. And here's the paradox: you don't gain this freedom by doing more. You gain it by letting go of the need to impress, letting go of the fear of missing out, letting go of the lies that told you your worth is measured by how much you can pack into a day. True freedom is found in the courage to say, "This is what matters to me, and nothing else owns my time." I want you to close your eyes and imagine your ideal day. Not the one packed with endless tasks, but the one that feels rich, whole, alive. Maybe you see yourself waking up early, with peace in your heart. Maybe you see yourself finally working on that project that excites you. Maybe you see yourself present with loved ones, laughing without distraction. That day is possible. It's not somewhere far in the future. It's waiting for you in the choices you make today. But here's the urgency. Every minute you hesitate is a minute you'll never get back. Time is moving, whether you choose to or not. And the painful truth is, if you don't take charge of your time, someone else will. So let me leave you with this thought. You don't need more time. You need more intention. When your intention guides your minutes create meaning. When meaning guides your days create freedom. And when freedom guides your life, you don't just survive the clock, you live beyond it. So the question I leave you with is this: will you keep waiting for the perfect moment to reclaim your time? Or will you realize that the perfect moment has been here all along, and it's now?